Lomanthang, here we are.
Top of the morning to you people. We are coming to you from a hillock to the north of Lo Manthang, which is the ancient capital of the forbidden kingdom of Lo. Why forbidden?
Well, I mean, considering how hard it was to get in here, I could see how it's forbidden just by geographical difficulty.
Weren't you saying this is the deepest gorge in the world?
Yeah, you got 8,000 meter peaks on Annapurna. On the opposite side of the valley is Dhaulagiri, also an 8,000 plus meter peak. And the valley sits at around 2,500, so that makes it almost, 5,500, 6,000 meters of a drop. And
well, inaccessible is really just it's probably a massive understatement, right?
Can you imagine coming here without the adventure bikes?
No, I mean walking and on horses. Jeez.
Those Kampa warriors, man, they were badass. So Lomanthang is right down here.
Yeah, there you go. That's Lomanthang, the walled city.
Yep.
And nothing much has changed here in the last 600 years. I think that this is probably our greatest adventure yet, Johan?
Definitely. I mean,
Tibet is, I think you can see Tibet. It's about 15 kilometers.
Where do we go? Over there.
So the city was a garrison town essentially, and surrounded by these citadels. There's one right behind us. We had originally planned to go up there, but we kind of ran out of steam. Guys, it's like minus 5, minus 6, something like that. And,
frost on the bikes in the morning.
The citadels all overlooking the city. So back in the day,
looking down here, there is one citadel is right there. Another one is right there. There's the one that we have up on the hill, which is right there.
In the traditional WION Traveler, at inaccessible places, bringing to you folks so you can live life vicariously through us. Johan wanted to take his bike all the way up. A foolhardy enterprise if you ask me, and coming back down isn't going to be much easier. But then, given the extreme riding we've done in the last fortnight, I don't blame him for trying. Good job! Good job!
To think that just over a week back, Meraj and I were chilling in New Delhi. Our journey began with a flight to Kathmandu, and then a bus ride to Pokhara, where we joined a group of motorcyclists for our ride to Mustang. We lost asphalt on the very first day, and were soon to realize that the prettier it got, the worse the terrain became. Wow, I killed it, Meraj! Yeah! As we passed by the Annapurna Conservation Area and got to Kalupani, the magnificent Annapurna and Dhaulagiri peaks made an appearance. From Kagbeni, we entered the rarefied air of Upper Mustang, an almost mystical place that's remained virtually unchanged for the last 5 centuries. Our destination, where we arrived yesterday, is the walled city of Lomanthang, considered one of the best preserved medieval cities anywhere in the world.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi there. Awesome. Oh, nothing much, but it's ours. Toilet, shower, not bad.
Tibetan kingdom is probably the most definitive account of this remote frontier land. Peasel, who was an ethnologist and an explorer, was the first Westerner to stay for an appreciable amount of time in Mustang, 6 months. A must-read, I say, for anyone planning a trip here.
French, yes, that's why.
Michael Peasel's book, how much is this for?
Is it
$20.
It's with pictures.
And what is this? Oh, iconography.
Description of
Oh, sorry.
God knows. Oh, my friend will be very interested in this.
Is it the same text?
How much are you for these?
Sorry?
How much for both of them?
These are
6
20
euro.
and 424.
20.
Buddhist paintings that were originally meant to serve as tools to depict and teach. Some depict various mantras, influential lamas, and other deities and bodhisattvas. I'm getting one that shows the wheel of life. Chiri Gurung is a Tanka artist who used to be a monk. Here I am buying a Tanka in Lomanthang from the artist himself, who used to be a monk, no less. I mean, how much better can it get? This is going to be one sweet souvenir.
So how long did it take you to make this one?
There is 1 month work.
1 month of work.
Yeah,
But why are Tankas so expensive?
because they're all color and mineral pigments
Oh, right.
on the canvas.
Right.
So canvas you can take your side.
You can see that it is.
Yeah, you can touch.
Wow. So it is a lot of work
Yeah.
that goes into each and every one of these.
Yeah.
Do you take a card?
Yeah.
Card payment? Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah.
I'll take this one then.
Okay.
Fantastic. That'll be my first Tanka.
Yeah. That's,
The Wheel of Life, is that a good Tanka to get? That's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
first Tanka?
yeah.
You were buying it, huh?
Yeah, I'll get that.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm buying it from a lama.
He's a Buddhist. He's a Buddhist at heart.
Yeah, I'm also Buddhist. Okay, before I was a monk,
Yeah.
Yes.
so that's why I left my monk, but
Yeah.
I didn't leave my Buddhist.
Yeah.
I'm always now going for the Buddhist.
That's fantastic. I'm very glad to buy a Tanka from a ex-monk.
Remote as to be virtually independent. So it was almost like this mystical kingdom that even people in Nepal didn't really know much about. You read about it, there are scattered sort of references in history. In the 1950s, a Swiss geologist named Tony Hagen, I think his name was, came by here, and there are he did write about it. But it was basically this guy. He spent 6 months here, and he was virtually the first foreigner to live here. When Michael came here, the citizens of Lo Manthang believed the earth was flat. There were no wheels, and there was polyandry in existence here. I don't know if all of that still holds true, and surely there is a lot of modernity that's come about, but still it's minuscule. When this man came here in 1964, and when Johan and I walked in here, what we saw, or what we are seeing, is almost exactly what this man saw, and that's what makes this place so special. Hey Johan, what do you think?
Not bad.
Not bad, huh?
You got yourself a great book. I'm gonna take that from you when you're finished with it. I can't remember the last time I clicked so many pictures in such a small area. Lomanthang is a photographer's dream. There are chortens, monasteries, gorgeous old houses, these macabre-looking animal heads and skulls. And the people themselves are amazingly not the least bit conscious of the camera.
Because it's a walled city, there's so many like dead ends, right?
Look in there.
What is that?
Oh, that's a monastery.
For tourists. Oh, it's a monastery. You can't shoot there. Okay. Namaste. Can't shoot there. Can't shoot there. But yeah, I mean, because it's a walled city, it's got like, you can't tell. It's like a maze of alleys, huh? It's just
So many narrow alleys, a meter wide.
So you know this guy, Michel, he actually sort of drew up a city map of this place.
Oh wow.
In his time here, Peacel also drew up a blueprint of the city. Quite a feat, but I doubt it'll be much help to us. The narrow alleys are about 2 to 3 yards wide and often lead to dead ends. Sometimes they lead to these little squares that appear to be the places for people to stand around and chat. Lomanthang has 4 distinct sections. The primary one is called De. It overlooks the main entry gate and where the royal palace stands. This is where the demon exorcism ceremony is held.
There are at least 3 monasteries in the old city, and one in particular is the most impressive structure in town, visible from all corners.
What I find quite unbelievable is that these mud and stone structures are still livable centuries after being built. Modern structures made of cement usually don't last longer than 50 to 60 years. It just doesn't make sense.
The theme of the most important annual event in Mustang, the Tiji Festival, is the most pervasive across religions, victory of good over evil. According to mythology, the festival commemorates the destruction of a demon who had inflicted disease on Mustang and stolen all its water. The festival has been held at Lomanthang since the 17th century and goes on for 3 days in the courtyard of the palace in the old city. The primary dancer has to complete a 3-month retreat before the event, and the dance has representation from all 7 provinces of Mustang. I've seen photographers from at least a dozen countries here, and all the ones I've met have told me that being here in Mustang and attending this festival is the culmination of a life goal. This is really a special moment for me. Lo is no longer a kingdom, but the would-have-been king continues to command a great deal of respect here. This gentleman is the 26th generation of his family to ascend the throne.
Where are we, Meraj?
Huh?
Where are we?
I don't know, man. You know, that's the thing about Lo Manthang. If you don't know where you're going, you're never going to find your way. Actually, you know what? That's probably a lesson for life anyway.
If you don't
know where you're going, don't be surprised where you land up. I read that somewhere.
Right? If you don't know where you're going, how would you know if you
Well,
reach?
I think that, Johan, I think it would be accurate to say that neither you nor I give a rat's ass about where we're going. But you know what? We're having a heck of a time getting nowhere.
Going nowhere.
Oh, that was a neat line, Meraj. I'd live to jeez, huh? Barely 20 kilometers from the Nepal-China border on the Tibetan Plateau, Lo Manthang got its first road in 2002. from the capital city to the border. Immediately, people I met in the old city told me that prices for goods, foodstuff and things like clothes dropped dramatically. While the road ends at Lomanthang, it's being extended vigorously to the south all the way to Jomsom, then on to Pokhara and I suppose the rest of the world. Lomanthang's newly forged link to the world at large is changing things, but the residents still live a life that's profoundly in sync with their environment. Today, the world is looking at traditional lifestyles again for insights into sustainability and to fight the damage we've inflicted on this planet. I think the world has more to learn from these people at Lomanthang than it can possibly give them. If only they knew that.
This road to the China border seems nothing short of an autobahn to us. This is as far as we can go on this ride.
Culmination of our road trip to Upper Mustang, and we've reached the Nepal-China border. Well, technically speaking, otherwise the Nepal-Tibet border. Check it out. Fence goes all the way as far as the eye can see. Jeez, man, it keeps going and going and going.
Bit windy here, huh?
It's very windy, yeah? Have you seen this sort of building before?
Yeah.
Huh? You have? You know what this reminds me of?
Hey, come jump with me.
A dusty border town.
No, this actually reminds me of the building that you get if you're making if you're driving from Hong Kong to Shenzhen and you go through this road border crossing. It's very similar. You know, you go in and the same thing rigmarole that you go through at airports. Not the prettiest building, but it's instantly recognizable. What I find amazing is, have you seen the length of this fence?
Yeah, man.
I mean,
That's a long fence.
It goes on and on and on. And what I wonder when I see stuff like this is, sure, you put a border, but what about nomadic communities, right? How do shepherds who've been, as a matter of fact, if you notice, there was a huge herd of sheep there. I mean, people who've been who've been taking cattle across for, I don't know, eons. Now suddenly they've got to stop. How does it work usually? I mean,
They're fenced off.
they're fenced off, right?
These sheep are now Nepali or Chinese.
Well, yeah, exactly, right? What happens to the sheep if they jump across? Can you go and get them? I guess not, right?
Right.
But did you get the sense of this Tibetan Plateau?
Yeah.
What a
as soon as you
plateau! What a
reached it,
jeez, man, crazy, eh?
Remind me of the Moorian Plains.
Of the Moreh Plains, yeah, but the Moreh Plains don't have this kind of.
Tibetan Plateau, man.
It is.
Start of the Tibetan Plateau.
Oh yeah, there he is. The Chaco is.
15,000 feet up.
The Chaco. When I was about 100 yards away from here and tooling around merrily, Chaco just felt like, Chaco felt insecure. He had to get there first. So he stood up and he and then taking his cue, the guy who was after him, I don't know who that was, also came in. So, but when we reached it, we realized there were a bunch of people here. So
Too late.
The Chaco, yet again.